Ohukuseku is the title of this one. It's from the late Papa Yankson. And I think that it sets the tone right for our conversation this very morning. And listen, if you don't have a data, get a data right now on your device. So you can join us on Facebook on LUV 99.5 FM. I'll be telling you why in a bit. But I'd like to take this opportunity to say a very big happy birthday to Bernie. Now, Bernie is operations manager at Ratri Park, Kumasi. Now, Bernie, you're a very special, amazing, man. You've done so many good things for so many people in your life. And so as to celebrate this very special day, we've come together and we want to say a big thank you as we celebrate you. It's not coming from me alone. It's coming from all the guys here at Love 99.5 and Isha 104.5, plus your very good friend Louise Lamise of the KDT and Makala fame. All right. So once again, happy birthday to you, Benny, operations manager at Ratri Park in Kumasi. All right. So our conversation for the morning, and I don't know whether you have any kind of domestic helper at home. Do you have anybody who's helping you with any chore, any activity, in your home? Well, we want to have this conversation because we need to do things right. Now, a young woman by name Ifya Ahinkan, was murdered in cold blood last week by her watchman. On like this morning, I was saying, should I rather call him a security man? Hitherto we used to call them watchmen. Now we refer to them as security persons. Now, after murdering this woman, he stole some items, including the woman's car. All right, and I'm told that she sold the car for 100,000 Ghana cedis. And aside from that, bought a Vitz or something to go do some Uber with it. All right, that's what we know right now. Now, this sad, unfortunate incident raises concerns about people we've employed in our homes to help us with, our various chores that we cannot do by ourselves. So you can talk about a cook. Now, do you have a cook at home? Do you have a cook? Or you have a house help who helps with cooking and washing and cleaning and all manner of stuff? Or maybe you have the watchman or the security man. It could even be that you have a driver. Let's talk about, the activities in our homes. We bring them in to help us. But do they really help us the way we expect them to? In recent past, we've had situations where we've seen videos of house helps abusing children of their employees. And it leaves, scars, other physical or emotional scars on them. So how best can we handle such situations? The people who bring into our homes to help us, how best do we handle it such that, our family will be safe? Do you have any idea? I pray you do. Send it to our WhatsApp number, 055-1111-995. That's our WhatsApp number, 055-1111-995. How do we stay safe with these people we bring in to work for us? All right. So maybe you have a driver. Is the driver driving you well? If there should be any case of an accident right now, the side na meji anaso bedding. Anaso be share create a problem now, or the side na jig by now hono. Or somebody cooks for you. I've heard very interesting stories. People who are house help and are supposed to serve their employees will be spitting into the food and mixing the food up with the spit, and they bring it to you. Some of them would even put urine in the food. Why are all these happening? So how do we stay safe, especially our families? How do we stay safe as we have these people with us? Leo Stanley was telling me 2 weeks ago about the house help that they had and what the house help did to all of them. Leo, they were like, how many boys? 3 boys? 3 or 4 boys. Charlie, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So with me in the studios of Love 99.5 to have this conversation is Dr. Jones Opokuwari. Now, he's a criminologist and a senior lecturer with the Department of Sociology and Social Work, KNUST. Doc, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, David. How are you?
Chala, I'm well, but I'm disturbed. It's been long. Well, we talk on the phone, so yeah. But good to have you with me in the studios of Love 99.5. And listeners, listen. Elsewhere, they believe in modern gadgets. Elsewhere. So they have the CCTV cameras positioned at some very vantage places, very good places. It gives information to the employers as to how the employees are behaving. All right? Yeah. if you stay with us on Facebook, you get to see how CCTV cameras are able to help. So join us on Facebook right now. But don't just watch the video. Some of them could be recent, some of them could be a bit old, but they're communicating to us as to how house helps and cooks and security men and co behave to people that will live in their care. All right? So just join us on Facebook on LUV 99.5 FM. That's how you can find us on Facebook. Join us on Facebook. Don't just watch the video, but drop comments. Bottom line, we all want to learn from each other. How do we stay safe in the midst of the people that we have employed to protect us or to work for us or to help us? Because there are some things that we cannot do ourselves. Yeah. And in today's world, whether I like it or not, as early as 4:30, many of us are ready to leave the home. And you're leaving your home in the care of such persons. How safe are we? So, Doc, first of all, you engage with the police officers most of the times when some of these things come up, because you're a criminologist. Yeah. What has the sources told you as to what really led to the killing of Ifya, Ahinkan last week?
Okay, well, once again, let me say very good morning to you and also to your listeners and your viewers. Yeah. I must say that as yet, the information is quite sketchy and scanty because most of my sources that I've discussed this issue with seem not to be forthcoming with a lot of the information, probably because of the personalities involved, because the lady involved is said to be related some way somehow to a certain popular footballer, past footballer that we used to have. So yes, so yes. But basically what they are saying is that the few that we've been able to gather is a guy that has been employed within a home supposed to provide some services to the lady, and then being engaged to do some other things. Probably it's not part of what the person is supposed to have done. And
can I accentuate on that? Do you mind? Because I spoke to some police officers this morning, and they are saying that they don't believe the story of the young man. Mm-hmm. They don't believe it. Yeah. Well, let me just hold on to that, because maybe it could be speculation. Because I spoke to some police officers, and they told me what role was given to him to play, and he said where he comes from, where he hails from, and what he believes in, he's not supposed to be doing that kind of a job. But they're investigating, so let me let that slide.
Yes, and I think that, Dave, when we are looking at issues of domestic work, these are some of the issues that we have to look at.
We'll talk about that shortly.
Okay.
But when you heard the story, this guy is somebody who's only 22 years of age, was employed by this woman barely 2 weeks ago through an agency, and now you've gone to do this heinous, crime. How did you take the news when you heard it?
Well, I was kind of very surprised, because looking at the age of the guy, this is relatively a very young guy who ordinarily anybody would think that he should have certain things going on for him in terms of what he wants to achieve in life. Probably even if there are problems in the family for which he has to do the domestic work, you want to believe that this is a guy who wants to do this probably temporarily and then make something out of it and then proceed to what he wants to do in future. So I was very surprised. But later on, based on some of the information that I've had, I am also not so surprised. I am not surprised also because looking at what he did with the things he took, which is to sell them, it tells me that there is a guy who is basically moved by some material things. And remember, based on the information we have, there is a guy who has a criminal record.
Yes, stealing some momo from
yes, and he was actually a fugitive and a wanted man. So if we have a 22-year-old boy, with such criminal record, the question is, what kind of due diligence was done on him for which we have to get this guy into somebody's home?
When you say the due diligence, who's supposed to be doing the due diligence here? Is it the unfortunate lady who's now passed, or the agency that made this young man available, this Alistair guy, John Alistair?
Yes.
Who's to blame here? Because it's not like what we normally do, where for example, I say I need a house help.
Yes.
And then I know you. Oh, Charlie Jones, you'll be able to right now. Then you say, oh, then we take on the person.
Yes.
I don't know whether that's appropriate or right to do. But here's an agency who says, well, I'm working with people. So you apply to the agency. The agency now gives you somebody to work with. You're presupposing that the agency could have done a very good job.
Yes.
And I ask myself, in Ghana, do we have the right data about people where we can say, okay, fine, so I want to employ this person. I've done some background checks. I've gone to the police station. I know this person is this or that, and therefore I can trust the person and bring the person to my home.
Yeah. I must say that even academically, researchers that have decided to study a lot on domestic work in the country are always faced with data problems because we don't seem to have this, available data on the kind of domestic work and those people involved in that. Because, if you look at the history of domestic work in the country, it's been basically in the informal sector. Just as you were saying, I meet you, Dave, look, I need somebody to live with. And then David will just say, oh, I know somebody here, I can recommend the person. And now, ideally, for somebody to recommend somebody to you, the person doing the receiving, should be able to ask some questions about the person that is being brought to you. You must do some background checks. For instance, when personally I needed someone to live with, I've actually lived in a couple of just in a year with 2 people. Okay. And before, I went in for these people around had to be asked certain questions. This person, I want to live with this person. Do you know this person? What can you say about this kid and the family? So you, the person that is going to receive this supposed worker, you must also do your due diligence. But you see, most of the time, I think it is something that as Ghanaians we don't take seriously because we get to trust the person that is doing the recommendation for us. And if the person is also coming from an agency, ideally the agency is the one that is supposed to do the due diligence. And this will involve doing some form of criminal checks on the person. They should also look at even the background, the family background of the person, and the personal circumstances of the person that is being brought on board. But then we have cases over the period where we see that these agencies that do this domestic provision don't do some of these background checks. And so they get all kinds of people who just walk to them and say, look, we want work to do.
So you talk about background checks. What are we supposed to look out for? Who do we talk to? Who do we engage with?
Ideally, we must go into the family, talk to the community. Okay, people that know the individual that is supposed to hire.
This journalist I got, for example, I'm not focusing on him per se.
Okay.
But we're looking at the whole thing generally.
Yeah.
But here's a person who hails from the Volta region, has lived in Accra before, comes to Kumasi to be recruited by the agency. Now, if I want to ask questions about this journalist guy, who do I go to? Because he hails from the Volta region, resided in Accra, now he's in Kumasi, no family person to really ask questions about.
Yes, but definitely this person belongs to a family. Okay, you must be able to go to the root. I mean, it's just like those people who join the security agencies.
So when you get a telephone number and call?
No, I mean, you need to go there. You need to go and look for where the person is coming from. And now, if you want to just do a cursory assessment, this is where the problems come. Because what is the guarantee that the person you are calling is actually even related to the person? So you must be able to take the person to where he says he hails from. Go to the family. Even if the parents are not there, there are people who probably know the person where he was living. They can tell you a lot about the person, and then you get the information that you need. But you see, this is the kind of hard work many of us don't want to do.
Yeah.
Yes, it is something that many of us don't want to do. We just want to accept it as it is, trusting that the agency would have done the necessary checks, which in most cases, I must be very frank, many of them don't do.
But even if they want to do it, is the information available for them? For example, an agency goes to the police and says, because this guy has a criminal record.
Exactly.
So if they go to the police and say, listen, I'm looking for info or intelligence about this person, are the police well equipped to give out that information well enough for it to guide me and aid me in taking my decision as to whether I want to work with this person?
The point is that I think the question we have to ask is, have the agency that is supposed to employ that person taken the person to the police to do the necessary detail?
But the other question is, even if the person decides to do such a thing, is the police well equipped to give us the necessary information we're looking for?
Yes, I mean, once the person takes you to the police station and do all the documentation, the police should be able to have those records. So, for instance, if I'm coming in for you, I'll first ask you, please, this person you are giving to me, have you done the necessary background checks? Has the police probably done some criminal record check on this person? Is there some criminal clearance that has to be done? Okay, and if that has been done, then I can go to the police station and verify that. Okay, so that we can get all the contact details, we can get all the background information that we need. But the point is that if we don't do that, how would the police even know that this person even belongs to this kind of agency for which we have to get this kind of information on the person?
Should we hold the agency, under any circumstance for what has happened? Can it be
for me, I think we have to blame them. Because what kind of background check did they do? This is a guy who has a criminal record. Okay, so once a person has a criminal record, you must know that there's a pattern. And once there's a pattern, we are in the presence of a fact. So what kind of clearance did they do on this person? What kind of due diligence was that? And everything suggests to me that the agency didn't do that. So they are just sitting in the office, probably just making an announcement as to those people who wants to become domestic workers, just registering them and redistributing them to homes.
Okay.
And so if you are not lucky, you get to have a criminal living with you in the home. And let me tell you, David, I've always said this over the period. Most residential robberies, as we've said, are basically inside jobs. And if you do the pattern analysis, this is where normally they emanate from.
It comes from. So, listeners, I want you to join us on Facebook. Fortunately, this young man, John Alistair, has been arrested. But I want you to join us on Facebook. And Joel, let's show videos of behaviors of some house helps as we've been able to get put together. Because, listen, these are footages that were gotten as a result of CCTV camera. So, I ask myself, so this is a child. This is a baby. So if a house help does this to a baby, is it to say that the house help has a psychological problem? Leo, why?
Leo is very... Yes.
Does the child have a psychological problem? Yes. The woman, the house help, does she have a psychological problem or what?
You see, Dave, there's something we don't look at. You are talking about psychology here, and it is something that we don't...
Indulge me, please indulge me. And listen, I want us to learn from our Jesus. I want us to learn from this. Unfortunately, in many Ghanaian homes, and we'll be getting there shortly, we do not have CCTV cameras installed in our homes.
Yes.
That will aid us to get to know what is happening. So you have a house help. You said fetch water for me from the refrigerator. Huh? And then she fetches the water, pours it into the glass, and then she spits into it and brings it to you. Doc here will be telling you about situations where some of them would even urinate into the food that they're going to serve you. We'll be telling you all that and more shortly. But listen, let's have CCTV cameras in our rooms. It doesn't cost much these days, so. And then there are CCTV cameras that would...
Yes.
There are CCTV cameras... As I say, this is what we have it in our homes.
Yes.
That is the answer they'll give you. But this is what is happening to babies and children. And this
yeah, and Dave, I think this is very sad. And I think you were talking about a psychological part.
Yes, sir.
Okay, many people don't look at these psychological issues. Apart from the fact that these guys are handling psychological issues, many of these people we call house help come from a certain background. Okay, a background that has generated some level of bitterness which they want to displace on others or some vulnerable people. So for instance, when they come into your home, look at the way this lady is behaving and where she is displacing whatever anger and bitterness that it is. It is basically to a vulnerable person because in her psychology and in her thinking, she is lacking something that she feels that somebody really probably is the cause. And in her position, it can be attributed to somebody who probably is not even related to a current situation.
Question is, how safe are we with such people in our homes? I mean, the drivers, the cooks, the watchmen, the house helps.
We are never safe. I mean, we are never safe because what is happening is that a lot of people, when they come into your homes, we ourselves as even landlord and landlady, we are not even
Doc, forgive me,
very, very careful to even monitor them.
So Joe, start a video for me. Start this very video for me. This is a video from not recent. It's something a few years back. So you're feeding the child and slapping the child at the same time you're feeding the child. This child is what, 2 years or only 3 years.
That's basically like my son.
And you're beating this child whilst feeding the child.
Yes.
And then the child throws up, and then I said, wrestling be some Yokozuna and somebody in the wrestling. What is wrong with us?
So the question is, what will make this lady do that to a little kid?
Stupidity.
Especially when this kid, it's just being a kid. You are just feeding the kid.
I have a personal experience. Somewhere around 95, we had a maid, Savannah. Her name was Ya.
Yeah.
And anytime, our parents will go out, then Ya would turn on us. It was me and one cousin of mine, Osebedu. To me, fat TV pool. No, guaying. The food that will be left in the fridge that she should feed us with, yes. She will give us very small rice. No, the stew, or the 2 and a pumping.
Yeah.
But we never was able to report her when she comes
Why
because she was in charge.
Yes.
It looks like she was the one who was supposed to take care of us when they are not there.
Yeah, so it's an issue of power and control.
Power and control. So if you go and report her, what do you think she would do to you?
Exactly.
And at that time, we didn't understand. It was just when I grew up that I understood the whole situation.
Yes. You see, their behavior is typical of like what pedophiles and those people do.
Yeah.
You know, they engage in something we call sexual grooming, where you know they have to do this and put fear in you, so that even if they molest you or do these things to you, you have no right, or you have the fear to even report. So that is what happening.
So how do we stay safe? The point is, we are not safe in our homes.
Yes.
Elsewhere, like I said, they make use of modern gadgets like the CCTV cameras.
Exactly.
That would enable you get to know what happened in your absence.
Yes.
And I'm saying to you again, listeners, that in this day and age, in today's world, there are very simple CCTV cameras that you can install, and then you can even speak for people who are in the house to listen or hear your voice.
Yes.
It is out there. There's a small, it is like a bulb, normal bulb. So you might think that it's a bulb, but it's a CCTV camera. You can speak to the person, and the person will get to know that they're in my show.
Yes.
Are we making use of CCTV cameras well enough in this country?
No, I think if you look at the data on these security systems, we normally want to use them outside. Okay, outside the homes, because we think that probably we want to prevent the intruders. Okay, but you see, one of the key things we have to know is that we have to actually monitor what goes inside the house. For me, that is very key. And many of us don't even put the cameras inside our homes, but outside, as I've already said. But if you are living with a house help, you cannot afford not to place these kind of security systems inside your room,
or even a security man.
Exactly.
And
you see, where you put these security systems is all very, very key.
All right.
Personally, I would suggest and recommend to people that there are certain places that we have to pay particular attention to. One is the kitchen.
The kitchen.
The kitchen is very key.
Why?
Because you see, I always tell people that in any home, there are two key places that you can actually get diseases from, either from the bathhouse or from the kitchen. In the same way, these are two areas that you can easily die, because you see, within the bathhouse, you can easily slip, yes, and die. And then also in the kitchen, that is where what goes inside of you,
contamination,
that is where it comes from. So if somebody wants to do anything against you, especially to your body, normally it starts from the kitchen. Okay, so if he has to poison you, if the person has to even mix your food with some concoctions and those things, normally it starts from the kitchen.
And sometimes we were talking about the urinating into food.
Exactly, because we have cases where we found, and this was very interesting, where the madam just said, "Look, daddy is coming home. Just take his food and go and put it at the dining hall. I'm just going to take a wee inside the bedroom." And just within that space of time, that small time, this lady could just put the food just underneath her,
in between her legs.
Yes, and just urinate in it and just mix it and serve it on the man's dining table. So we have all these kind of people. Look, and then there was even an issue where one of these house helps was trying to suffocate a little girl.
In Ghana?
Yes, was trying to suffocate a little girl. When the parents had just left this kid in the care of the girl. Okay, and now if you look, and interestingly, this girl was doing this and actually recording it, except that she took her face out of the camera recording. Okay, suffocating the kid in a way as to give this kid some kind of brain damage or some kind of problem, all because he felt that the landlady was not treating her well.
All right, so from the kitchen, where next? Number 2.
Good. You also have to look at the halls. Okay, and then if they are living with you, their rooms, because sometimes this is where they take their case to, because they think that is their space. So, for instance, you leave your son with this girl, you leave your daughter with this girl. That's where they take them and go and abuse them.
And you might think that your child has become a homosexual,
yes,
or has become somebody who loves to have sex. A house girl introduced your son to it.
Yes.
In your absence, the house girl is sleeping with your son.
Yes.
Your son of 6. Your son of 7. Your son
and
of
they
8.
actually molest them. You understand? They try. That's why I call it sexual grooming. They groom them to become sexual addicts. Okay, so sometimes they try to even play with their manhood and their sex organs and all that. as a way to initiate these girls into, or these guys, small kids into those kind of behaviors.
Could even be lesbianism, because if the house help is a woman, and you have a daughter, you have daughters, and they start fondling her and all that, they introduce your daughter.
They groom them to those kind of
lesbianism.
Yes.
So you might think that, we are safe and all that. Do you have a CCTV camera in your home? It's very, very, very.
In fact, CCTVs are very important. Though they don't, as I've said time and time again, they don't prevent crime, but they actually have something we call deterrence effect.
And they give you information as well.
Yes, and they in fact, as of now, in terms of criminological sense, they are the best forensic kind of evidence we can always have. So it's very, very important that whether inside the home or outside the home, we need to secure these places with this kind of.
But again, could it be that we maltreat these helps, these domestic workers?
Yes.
And that's how they pay us back with this criminal activity.
I must say some of them already have some unresolved, internal conflicts that they are already dealing with. I mean, I call some of them bitterness, some of them, some form of anger already. And they're only looking for outlets to displace them. I mean, the psychology people will tell you that there's something we call displacement, where people look for weaker and vulnerable targets to displace, their anger and emotions on. They already have that. Some of them already have that. And now, some of them too is also a product of the way we relate to them. Because let's be very honest with you, Dave. Ideally, if you go in for a house help, a domestic worker, you need to clarify the lines for them in terms of what they are supposed to do and what they are not supposed to do. Okay. But more often than not, what we find is that there are a lot of homes where these house helps are basically made to do anything. Okay, so they will be employed to come and do, let's say, cooking. The next thing they are bathing children. The next thing we know is that they are doing they are sweeping, and they are doing. At the end, they are being paid the same amount of money that was negotiated for.
Somebody's complaining about a woman washing her madam's panty, her menses panty, and everything.
Exactly. So when you do
this,
so if you have this kind of scenario playing out, a lot of the times it creates this kind of anger in these people. And once there is this kind of unresolved conflicts, they come together and then they.
How do we get the children to talk to us, to open up to us and tell us the maltreatment that they're receiving?
Yes, it's about how we socialize our kids. Okay, the way we let these kids express themselves. And now, more often than not, as Africans and Ghanaians, Dave, you and I will know that the typical Ghanaian or African parent is that kind of parent who always wants to be the one controlling things, shutting children up and not letting children express themselves. Okay, so most of the time, to be very honest, a lot of us develop very timid attitudes whilst we grow up, and it becomes very difficult for these kids to come out. So I'm of the view that as part of the socialization process, we need to make sure that we let our children become more expressive. We need to talk to them. We need to ask them questions. Okay, because look, I have a 3-year-old kid myself, and I have a 1 year and 6 months kid. Look, because of the way I engage them every time, especially my 3-year-old kid, is so expressive in a sense that whatever she wants to do or want to say, she tells me, and she'll come and cross-check it with me. Daddy, can I do this? Daddy, I want to do this. Okay, so this is how we have to raise the kids.
Did they tell you before they write on the walls?
No, they don't even tell me before they write on the walls. All the walls, they just mess up the whole walls. And now they come and tell you later on, Daddy, I've written on the wall. Then that's a nice thing. At least they communicate.
They're communicating.
Okay, so that is what we have to promote.
Listen, you can call us now on 03220-83596, 03220-83597, and 03220-83598. What advice do you think we need to have when we have such domestic workers working with us or for us? What advice would you give to people out there? Doc, I'll be asking you to tell us about things that we don't have to do in their presence.
Yes.
There are some phone calls you'd make. The phone calls we make, the conversations we have in their presence, things that will make them see. Whether that also informs some of these things, because you kill this woman, take her vehicle away, and then you go and sell it. Let's speak to Sledge. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Welcome, Sledge. Let's hear you, sir.
How are you? David, you said something. As a woman, if basic things you cannot do for yourself, you don't have that time to do that for yourself and your kids. Then there is no right. I mean, because if you can't get little time to to take care of your kids, to bath them, dress them up, feed them, then David, you have no business in giving birth. I've experienced this before, David. The last time a house girl cooked for me, I had food poisoning. I was admitted in the hospital for 4 days. David, if you're a house girl, there is a limit that you can go near my kids. And David, to this agency, I think the lady who died, by this time the police should have arrested the owners of the agency. Because how do you form an agency, employ people, you don't know their background, their criminal records, everything. And you also, the person, house help is coming to stay with you. You can't even go and do a background check on the person.
Yeah, you Slash. Thanks for joining us and thanks for doing the listening as well. Tuga, good morning, sir. And I can see Christoph on the line as well. Christoph, hold the line for us. Tuga, good morning, and let's see you, sir.
Good morning. David, the solution is the camera issue that people are discussing. Or if you have an in-law to come and stay with you, if you have a good relationship with the person. My personal experiences, I had a 3-year-old girl, and at one point in time, when you are sitting down, then she wants to put her hand between your legs, to tweet. Even when you have visitors, they get tweet. So we're wondering, what is this? One day we were at work when a neighbor called me and said she just entered our hall and saw that the maid, the girl, was putting her hands in the private part of our little girl, and they were doing that. So quickly I came home, and the following day I took her. I called the father. I think he's from the north, and he said, and those things. So the following day, I sent the girl to Accra, called the father, and I took a car. I didn't go myself, but I just told the father that I'm sending your word in this car, number that, and I sent it. And that's not the first. Another girl would too, because of your time, maybe another time. Yeah. So the issue is sometimes spiritism is tied. Some of them are tied with the idolatry and all those things, and so when they are doing things,
thank you very much, Tuga. But Tuga, I like what you did, but one bit I wanted you to say to me that you did was to have handed her over to the police.
Yeah.
But whatever she did was criminal.
Yes.
Now you've just handed her over to the father.
Yeah.
She would then be given to another family to go live with, and she will continue that same
because thing. If you look at even these sexual crimes, because what he's doing is basically sexually grooming the kid. Yeah. Okay, we treat it as a private and family affair. Yeah. That is why if you really look at police data,
defilement.
Yes, defilement they are always on the police data is very low.
Because somebody else will take this girl as a house girl.
Yes,
and she continue
doing that.
Exactly.
By the time you realize all those
Christoph, good morning.
corrupted.
Yes, sir. Good morning, David. How are you, sir?
Well, Chris, good to have you. Let's hear you.
David, I want to say hi to one of my bosses, Master Aite of Master Aite Alignment Services. He's Secretary, Mr. Pimpong, Abraport Junction. David, you see for Canberra, now Omunia Balance in the alignment now. David, what I want to say is that people should have time for themselves. Do certain things for yourself. David, I know a very big man in this town, this city. He drives himself. When you hear me, David, do you know that the late Ebony's driver is still alive? Ebony, a driver who was driving her before she died, he is alive, but Ebony is gone. What we are saying is that, look, besides these CCTV cameras and all that, women should have time for themselves, to have time for their kids. I know a student of mine, David, this is a woman who's like 38 years. She had 4 kids. Or yet, woman, school. Or one that's actually living now, only house girl. The husband said, let me get you a house boy, house girl. I said, Debbie, I don't need it. David, life is fragile.
I hear you. Indeed, life is
careful.
fragile.
Yes.
Thanks very much. 0322083596, 0322083597, and 0322083598. We're talking about the domestic helpers we have, from cooks to watchmen, or what do you call them, security persons, to whatever. I mean, how can we stay safe with all these people around us? Godwin, good morning.
Good morning, David. I hope everything is going on.
I'm well, but I'm hoping that we'll be able to improve the situation in our homes. So I want to hear your suggestion.
Yeah, my brother. Thank you very much. I think the first thing that I would say is the agency must be prosecuted. It is very important. Let us not just talk about this and forget about it and leave the issue. The agency must be prosecuted. Because as an institution, whatever that you deliver, whatever product that you have, supposed to be a better one. And if you cannot check and ensure the sanity, the sanctity of your product, then something must happen to you, so that others will take that as deterrent, and not just be sitting at the office picking people and picking criminals and sending them to people's homes, which is very dangerous to us. The next action is, David, this is a big conversation, and I hope you have time to digest. The issue is, in this nation that we are now, there are so many people who are angry and so many people who are having mental issues. There are others that when they see someone who has made it in life a bit, you become their enemy. When they see you who can actually try and have things by yourself, you are enemy. Do you know that there are drivers, commercial drivers, who when they see private drivers, they see them as people that they should not even see them on the road. And driving towards them or around them is like driving around your enemy. So these kind of attitudes are there. And there are these young ones too. Sometimes to ask, I think your guest was saying, when you employ someone, make sure that once you have that person in that home, you're supposed to care, love that person, so that he can also show that to you. There are many times that people leave the house to everything by that house help. And when you do that, sometimes they become angry.
Female dominant.
And things.
Well, thank you very much, Godwin. We appreciate you. Let's speak to one final caller. Patrick, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dave.
How are you?
I'm good.
Patrick, good to hear from you. Let's hear you, sir.
Dave, I think the agency must be prosecuted, because before you are given a license to operate, there are certain do's and don'ts. And they should have found out or do their background check to see as a matter of fact if the guy has criminal background. I don't think they did that. And some of these boys, because of their socialization, they see society as an enemy. So when they were case, they couldn't get. If your case are getting, they tend to see them as enemies. I think that brought the issue. Why didn't I get this and you are getting it? Why didn't I benefit from this and you are benefiting? That's what the earlier caller said. So these agencies must be responsible. They have to do their background check.
I hear you. You're saying that they ought to be held responsible, and of course, my guest also agrees with you. We've got some messages on Facebook, and in reaction to the videos we shared, we've got some WhatsApp messages as well. Stanley, please do your magic.
Thank you, Dave, for your good program. I think in cases of this house help issue, what we should be very careful about is the employer who has brought the house help or the caregiver. We must develop a very good relationship with them. If we don't develop good relationship with them, that is the time that evil and bad lifestyle enter into their lives, and then it gets to worry them. Apart from giving them their normal salary, is there some food that we can give them? Is there some better room that we can give them? Is there some opportunities that they can have to watch TV or use the TV room and all those things? But if you only concentrate on their remuneration without thinking about their welfare, then
Well, thank you very much for sharing that with us. We have messages on Facebook.
Okay, so this one is from Sadiq Osman Hazard. He said, "Hey, this is very serious. How could she do this to a little baby?" Asamoah Stephen said it's very terrible and messy. And Bora says, "My God, I can't watch."
Yes, indeed. It was very difficult to watch. Doc, I was asking about our communications, things we do in their presence and all that.
Yeah.
What should we be mindful of? The conversations we have with business partners and all that.
Yes, because just like all other kind of crimes, especially robberies, it's based on what people know and what people hear. Okay, so normally we sit in trotros, and that's where people will normally go and talk about their financial transactions and all that. So in the same way, once these people are in your homes, and you and I will agree that we don't seem to have so much criminal background check on them, you have to be very careful the things you say.
Okay.
And even where to even keep your valuables, they are very important. Remember, in this country, we are now even dealing with an issues of house helps and ministers and all that.
I was telling you that if Sadaba had CCTV cameras, they would have monitored the activities of whatever was long ago.
Exactly. So it's very important to watch the things we say, the things we do once we are there. I'm actually of the view that if we get these guys from these employment agencies, we must be very strict in terms of what they can do and what they cannot do. Okay, the CCTVs can work, they can do what they have to do, but we, the human beings, we need to also supervise. We need to be there to look at the things that they are doing. And I was even giving an example of why personally I have to sack my first house up, because this kid decided to feed my kid with an expired baby food, which was going so bad.
Well, why did you throw it away?
Well, this was a food that we had packaged in the shelves. So periodically we look at them and then take out those that we think are not good. So once we said go and give them the food, go and pick some from there, instead of picking the one up there, she went to pick the one that was down. But at least even when you opened it, the foul smell that came out should have informed. Yes, but then luckily I was around to make sure.
What about people who live in our neighborhoods with? I mean, so you have a neighbor. Anytime the neighbor goes to work alongside with the husband, you realize that the child cries. But when the parents are home, the child doesn't cry. As neighbors, how can we be each other's keeper under some of these circumstances?
Yes, ideally we should be able to question and even come to the aid of people when we suspect something is going on that is bad. But let's be very honest. The way our residential patterns have been designed in recent times, for instance, we wall our homes, even in our neighborhoods, it's very difficult. Look, I was living in a place where, in an apartment of about 20, for more than 5 years, we hardly even knew ourselves. Okay, so if we have that, it's very difficult for people to now even come into people's homes and come and ask them what they are doing because of the nature of our living and our residential patterns now. But those days that we used to have communal living, it was very easy for everybody to, yes. So we should be able to do that ideally, but can we also look at the way we are trying to organize our communities in recent times?
What about the agencies? Any way that we can regulate?
Yes, I think that these agencies have to be regulated. In fact, concerning the one that has just happened, personally, if I'm to give any recommendation, those in charge of the agency could be picked up and be questioned and probably be prosecuted together with the supposed yes, and probably their alliances revoked and collapsed.
Dr. John Sopokuware, always grateful to you for your time.
Thank you very much
for sharing knowledge with us.
Thank you very
much. But I've got some great news for you. I'm supposed to share that news with friends like yourself.
Okay.
It's from Fido. And Fido's highest loan is now an impressive 4,000 Ghana cedis. And one of the reasons why I want you to be a part of this is this. Listen, starting small is the key to big things. Begin with a loan of 200 Ghana cedis and pay on time, and you can see your loan limit grow to 4,000 Ghana cedis. Now tell your party, which of course is you, I've just told you, because when you get the loan and you repay, I'll get 15 Ghana cedis. Because I recommended you. Okay. So please do it so that I can get 15 Ghana cedis. And then
I can also recommend somebody. Right?
And then even when you repay your loan, you also get 10 Ghana cedis.
Oh, okay.
So it's a good thing. It's a win-win thing.
That's great.
And it's all about Fido. Now, it's a winning combo. So getting the Fido app is as easy as you just picking up your device and dialing *998*9# to apply Fido on the App Store or the Play Store. Apply today and shine your eyes because be mindful of tricksters out there pretending to be Fido, because Fido will never ask you to pay money before getting a Fido loan. Now, again, in today's Ghana, you and I know that if you want to fry some eggs, some chibo, 3 Ghana cedis is definitely not enough. And again, if you want to, buy a bag of cement, it's way above 45 Ghana cedis. But thanks to Prudential Life Insurance Ghana's Mekakrawa, you can secure your future and that of your loved ones with as little as 3 Ghana cedis. Mekakrawa protects you and one dependent in the event of death, critical illness, and total permanent disability. Please dial star 778 hash on MTN today and join the Mekakrawa family and protect your future. Now, Betway's got some great news for you because I is so cool. Now, Betway's cash out just got way better. The enhanced early partial and auto cash out feature lets you cash your bets out early, cash out a portion of your ongoing bets, or even set your bets to cash out automatically. Now, all this to give you way more control over every thrilling bet you place. Sign up today at betway.com.gh and terms and conditions apply. It's regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. It's not for persons under the age of 18. Betway, get way more. Meanwhile, I'd like to also tell you about MTN, who says, are you ready to treat your callers to good tunes whilst you win incredible rewards? Earn points by purchasing, renewing, copying, or gifting your favorite caller tunes, and you can win amazing prizes based on your total accumulated points. So build as many points as possible and you can win tons of data to stay connected to the things you love, or you can win an amazing 10,000 Ghana cedis in cash to splash on your favorite things. It is a perfect way to entertain your callers with music and get rewarded at the same time. Start collecting your caller tune points today. So visit callertunes.mtn.com.gh, and I want to spell the caller tunes for you. It is callertunez.mtn.com.gh. Now, you can also dial star 1355 hash to get started on the MTN Caller Tunes service. Promo lasted the 7th of October 2023, but don't forget that terms and conditions apply. Do you want a generator to buy, or you want your generator to be, repaired for you? Well, Anointed Electrical Engineering Services Limited is into the sales of ultra-silent generators from 5 kVA to 2,500 kVA, and they undertake maintenance and repairs of all kinds of diesel engine generators. Now, they also stock genuine spare parts of all kinds of various generators and also do generator rentals as well. Here in Kumasi, you can find them at TAT Yard of the Ak Mayanka Road, and in Accra, you can find them at number 77 Anointed House off the Odoko Malam Road. Call them on 0243 480334 or 0544 340 589, and they would be there to sort you out. Now, what is your preferred color of tank? Well, for your information, Syntex has it. What guarantee do you want? Again, Syntex has it. Now, if you're wondering the kind of inner layer you want, whether double, triple, quadruple, well, as many inner layers as you want, Syntex has it too. So remember, no matter your water needs, Syntex has it. Syntex tank, are you strong, are you tough? Now, they have over 300 agents nationwide, so all you need to do is to call them on 0244 335 168 if you want to order a tank. The number again is 0244 335 168. And you can visit Syntex on social media at Syntex Ghana or shop online on www.syntexgh.com. Syntex tank, like I said, you're strong, you're tough. Now we'll be joining the feed for the Super Morning Show in a bit, and today's conversation is on cyber fraud, because people are losing money through their Momo accounts and of course their bank accounts, as well as people are stealing their money. So we'll tell you how you can protect that cash of yours. We will wake up to a new taste of Bigo Cola. Nothing comes close to Bigo Cola, a drink of joy, both cold and sweet. Bigo Drink is a range of soft drinks developed, bottled, and distributed in Ghana by Trillium Industrial Ghana. Bigo Cola drink offers a great taste and superior value to consumers. Now, for your parties, your weddings, your funerals, and all occasions, reach out for Bigo Drinks. For the school children, I bet you that is a drink of choice. So anytime you want a drink to quench your thirst, reach out for Bigo Cola and feel the taste of nature. For bulk purchase, please call 03221 90877. It's a quality product from Trillium Industries. All right, so at this point in time, I'd like to say that we've got some messages for you. And after those messages, we'll be crossing over to Joy 99.7 for the Super Morning Show. But I'll be coming back. I'll have another conversation coming up here where if you're lucky, you might win some tickets. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Doing gets you learning. Learning starts you wondering. Wondering triggers thinking. Thinking becomes planning. Planning evolves to trying. After trying, you're succeeding, winning, owning. Now, doing that starts with outdoing your limits. Outdo them all with MTN. So, what are we doing today?
Hey, Linda, long time, oh. Yes, so. Hey, but wait, oh, Linda, did you win the lottery? I mean, look at your room, your TV, your sound system, your fridge. Hey.
Oh, they are nice, all from Kennedy Digital Satellite. They also sell appliances like air conditioners, televisions, tabletop fridges, and freezers from 100 to 900 liters, commercial fufu machines, home theaters, etc.
Wow.
In addition, government workers who receive their salary through the Controller and Accountant General's Department and still have their affordability package active can come to Kennedy Digital Satellite and get any appliance of their choice with flexible payment terms. You can locate Kennedy Digital Satellite in Accra at Wager, just at the old barrier traffic light, and in Kumasi at Edum near Boss FM and along the Patasi Main Street near the police depot. Those in Accra can call 0243 074 750 and in Kumasi reach them on 0207 653031.
Kennedy Digital Satellite, where quality sells cheap.
And all the laughter and fun you can imagine. Don't miss the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. It's the best breakfast show in town. Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
Man was so shake a cry, me deep in me odo, odo you my aminayo. Oh yeah, me dish ya me ni one grunty, me dia hini ma de bekushiano, odo you ni naichi abusia, odo my aminayo. Although be my way, when you say they are crouching from they are crouching from him. Oh, my wretched chief way, Rabbe Kuma Kuma come here. Now Kuma Kasa, it's your mother for a water they come on.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM. Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM. Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7
FM. 8:29 is the time. Is the Super Morning Show coming up?
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, this is Kobe Mike. You're speaking from MTN office.
Kobe. How am Kobinara Watsasi. Charlie,
it's the coded language of Emfaon.
Like Kobina is realized that actually this is not going to be a victim. You see, there are so many people who fall for it every single day. Whether it's mobile money, whether it's their banks, people are finding ingenious ways. They call it social engineering. Finding ingenious ways of making you give up information. And look, let's be fair. Not every customer in this country, not every Ghanaian is so tech savvy or understands the ways of these fraudsters. So how do we all protect ourselves?
Some people,
how do the banks protect?
Some people go to these merchants, right? Give them their phone because it's an old person. She can't really operate this. Then says, "Oh, I know that I'm supposed to have some code." Mentions it to the lady. And the lady would actually go through the process and withdraw the money. The fear is that something she's supposed to keep to herself may now be unleashed to others who may pass it on, even bystanders who are in the queue and all of that, equally getting access to it. I think we should have another layer of protection for people most exposed to some of these schemes.
Raymond, the facts are scary, okay? So I learned in my preparation for this conversation that research done by the banking industry itself reveals that 70% of e-banking customers use their date of birth as their password.
But
date of birth,
you see, it's not surprising because some of the things you can't remember.
Yeah.
Sometimes the password, they say do a complex one. You do then 2 days later, you've forgotten about it. But you have trouble. I can't keep and you use one password for everything. They say it's not good too. Even the iPhone sometimes tells you that it's not good to use one password for everything, and that your what is exposed.
7, 8, 9, 10 different.
They say you should mix it with numbers, mix it with come on.
And yes, and they have to be things that people cannot guess about you.
But the things I remember, the things I can guess easily. That's what becomes my password.
Charlie, I'm just glad that Ransford Nanadu Jr. will be joining us for this conversation. Now, he's a fraud security and investigations specialist. He's the president of the Fraud Forum Ghana Association of Banks. Sorry, the Fraud Forum at the Ghana Association of Banks. He's also a lecturer at the National Banking College. Ransford, good morning to you.
Good morning, Kojo. Good morning to our listeners.
Yes, indeed.
Raymond, good to see you. It's been a while.
I hope you are doing well.
Yeah, Ransford has got all the filler. We'll be getting into it right here on the Super Morning Show. Stay with us. But first,
The Institute of Distance Learning, KNUST, announces that application e-vouchers for admission into diploma, undergraduate and postgraduate programs through the distance learning mode are now on sale. Diploma programs on offer are Architectural Technology, Business Administration, Information Technology, Horticulture, Professional French, and Food Manufacturing. Undergraduate programs on offer include Business Administration with 7 options, Quantity Surveying and Construction Economics, Construction Technology and Management, Sociology and Social Work, Information Technology, Statistics, Agriculture, Actuarial Science, and Computer Science. The Institute of Distance Learning also has several postgraduate programs on offer in the following areas: Education, Sciences, Business, Engineering, Built Environment, Humanities, and Agriculture. You can use the short code *477*160# to buy the e-voucher for application. Applicants can purchase an online application e-voucher from GCB Bank, EcoBank, or Consolidated Bank Ghana and apply online. For further inquiries, please call 0247-274-661 or 0500-482-885. IDO KNUST, providing flexible and quality education at your doorsteps.
The other day, as I was in my kitchen preparing my special jollof made with lily rice for my family, I heard a knock at the door. It was my mechanic. Instead of calling me to pick my car, he brought it himself. I said, "Cho," he said, "F-O." I said, "Take the car back. I will come and pick it myself." As I turned off the fire from under the lily jollof, there was another knock at the door. It was my neighbor. I said, neighbor. He said, "F-O, my dog has jammed your wall again, oh." I said, "Don't be silly. You don't have a dog." My wife and kids came home, and we saw that he enjoyed. Cho, it was my pastor. He said, "Bless you." I said, "Bless you too." He said, "Did he come to church on Saturday?" I said, "Acho, but why are you coming to tell me this on Wednesday?"
Having to fend off visitors at mealtimes because of Lily's tasty aromatic rice? Celebrate every mealtime by sharing with friends and family near or far. Lele, tasty food, happy family. This advert is FDA approved.
Aji, mensa ye titiri na ayame yaka ho. Doctor say me BP ni me sugar nyina kwosoro.
De wuhia ne Amuzu garlic bitters.
Amuzu garlic bitters.
Ane Amuzu garlic bitters. Ewo herbal shop bia.
Wow! Coffee, Usilian fair. With the amount them have bright.
A interface plasterboard ceiling, and I'm dear bomb demua at Tijasano, and to where they are dancing for, and a more ceiling what you mean. Interface plasterboard ceiling, and I'm on farm demo. The bomb demo, I have first one cobra. So the interface plasterboard ceiling, about demua, and my demo yefe, and a sound switch. A interface limited, and a diaba, Bomadia. Now from 0274 999999, and our website www.interfacelimited.com.
Bra na minya Royal Foam mattress no. How bebre na mekomu. Medam panosweni na atom. Na mechi kase so na me honam nyina ya meya. Na de akume kra ne se. Ya no nso beda aso ape. Na wagya me. Na minya Royal Foam mattress no. Pa kwesi da aso ape. E na oya me ho ade. Congratulations dear, me fa no kwa. Asedan koma Royal Foam. Quality mattress papa fi. Oji aware Royal Foam. What manane relaxation aye de. Anwoto so a wunya wo mu ne se. Royal Foam mattress eye papa. Eche ye, eye kilted mattress inti. Woda so a ama wona ye foam. Se woto mattress free Royal Foam a. Seche wo free pillows. Royal Foam aje abasobode e wo 12 Ghana Business and Financial Excellence Awards no mu. Yet on quality duvets, curtains, beds, ne carpentry foams ahodo nyina bi. Hwehwe yen wo Royal Foam showrooms, any sales depots a ewo Ghana fana nyina. Fre 020-227-1000. Royal Foam, rest assured.
Our Sacrum, yes, say about you.
Loving you, girl, no girl, leak it.
Roverman Productions in partnership with Love FM and Ebony Condoms presents Husband Material 7 Yards, an original play by Uncle Ibo White.
In fact, that reminds me, what is going on between you and Pamela?
Which Pamela?
How many Pamelas do you know? Pamela the PA to your boss. Pamela the daughter of Doc. She used to be very nice to me, but now she treats me as her rival. So tell me, Joe, why does she ignore me these days?
Maybe she's in a period. Maybe she has constipation. How am I supposed to know that? Listen, my dear, I am a very educated man. I have read widely and I have taken many courses. But unfortunately, I have not studied the whims and moods and caprices of Pamela.
Joe, that is rude.
No, that is honest. How the hell am I supposed to know what Pamela does?
Husband Material 7 Yards shows on the 23rd and 24th of September at the CCB Auditorium, KNUST. There will be 2 shows each day, 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Early bird tickets are selling at a promo price of 80 Ghana cedis. Promo ends on 17th September and ticket prices will go up to 100 cedis. Buy your early bird tickets at the following outlets: Love FM, Poku Trading, Kingdom Books KNUST, Continental Supermarket, and via short code *365 *535#. Sponsors: Ebony Condoms. Roverman Production. Be the difference.
I wake up in the morning, it's a new day, and I got bills that I have to pay. Now you're running late, running out of time. Feels like the world is waiting in line. All you gotta do is pick up the phone and just dial.
So whatever you do, whoever you are, there is an easy way for everyone. The simple life is just one touch away. Experience the magic starting today.
And it all begins with
You see, I don't need to write or cash a check. I don't need data or internet. I have something that's faster than a jet. Just like
what they're talking about. You could be a palm wine tapper, a teacher, a rapper, a schoolboy, a school girl, or a trader, a bank MD, a chairman, or a baker.
Guaranteed
Trust Bank. Wouldn't you rather bank with us?
Wahese wako shop